Welcome to a TV Tacoma Sports Special. Tonight, it's Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship Baseball at Cheney Stadium. Hello, everybody. I'm Randy McNair, along with Tony Anderson.
Randy, it's great to be here tonight and this great facility with the sun out. These kids are going to have the time of their lives.
It's the Big Blue Rams and the Raptors playing right here at Cheney Stadium, the AAA ballpark of the Tacoma Rainiers. And you better believe these young ball players are going to feel like big leaguers tonight. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with Metro Parks 14U Championship Baseball.
Tacoma voters said yes to invest in city streets and passed 2 propositions for increased funding for street repair and improvements. Residents can stay informed by visiting TacomaStreetsInitiative.org for a layout of this funding and to see where projects are happening around the city. Projects are starting now. Keep an eye out for these signs posted at improvement sites. Over the next decade, these dedicated funds will be key to repairing and maintaining city streets in a significant way. See this funding in action at TacomaStreetsInitiative.org.
For the Big Blue Rams, this is number 23. Hayden Forrester stepping in, and the first pitch is on the way, and it's in there for a called strike. We are underway at Cheney Stadium. Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship game. First pitch is at 5 o'clock, right on the dot. We got a game time temperature of 77 degrees. And the next pitch is grounded to the second baseman, and the throw to first is not in time. We have an infield single.
Hayden ran that all the way through. Great job by a young man. I watched him practice on Sunday evening, and they're starting quick right out of the gate.
So an infield single for Hayden Forrester to lead things off in the championship game. And now Talon Kaiser steps up to the plate. Runner goes, and the ball popped up to left field. Jensen Kalal is there to make the catch, and that'll be number 1.
Jensen Kalal's dad, Kevin Kalal, Randy, used to work right here as baseball operations for the Tacoma Rainiers. Or back when it was the Tigers, I should say.
Yeah, the Rainiers took over back in 1995. Runner goes. And it's another hit and run, second hit and run in a row. No play at second base, so they're going to go over to first. And another runner beats it out. That's Cam Beck, the pitcher, batting third in the lineup. Another infield single. On the play, Hayden Forrester advances to second base. And 1 out. Runners on second and first. Here's third baseman, number 11, Scotty Diener, who's batting fourth. Runner goes again. That's Hayden Forrester takes off, a stolen base.
Last Sunday, the coach was being very aggressive in practice, and it doesn't surprise me tonight that he's choosing to come out being aggressive here.
Right off the bat, 2 hit and runs, and now a stolen base. And the next pitch, runner, that is Cam Beck, heads off for second base. No throw down, and the force is now off. So the Big Blue Rams with play only at first base. Infield stays at normal depth. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way to Scotty. It's a little high. And we have a balk call by home plate Dan Roberts is the home plate umpire. So the first run of the ball game scored by Hayden Forrester on a balk on pitcher Ben Spitzer. And the next pitch is swung. That's going to drop into right center field for a base hit. Another run will score. That's Cam Beck who comes all the way across.
Well, Mr. Anthony hit that ball well. Big Blue Rams are coming out with their horns, scoring runs right out of the gate.
Stealing bases, swinging the bats. RBI for Scotty. Now Anthony Pizzo will step up, and the runner again goes. That's Scotty going down to second. The throw down by the catcher. Josiah Smith is a little late, so another stolen base. Scotty's down to second.
The Big Blue Rams haven't practiced for a while till I saw them on Sunday evening, and they're doing exceptionally well. Stole third.
Another stolen base.
Well, let's see how aggressive Mr. Anthony's going to be here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Ball that floats in a little inside for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Anthony. Anthony, the catcher, batting in the 5 spot. Healthy .347 average during the regular season. And the next pitch on the way is in there for strike 3 called. So 2 away.
Randy, interesting note about the Big Blue Rams. They're mostly all football players up on South Hill and Puyallup that just wanted to do something, play during the summer, play baseball, stay in shape.
And there are a lot of big guys too.
There are a lot of big guys. Yes, they are.
Here's number 14, Mike Garrett, whom the Rams, well, they just picked up on Sunday.
Yes.
To fill in. Had a couple players on vacation. There was an injury that the Rams were worried about, and so they picked up Garrett. And Garrett actually plays with Northwest Prospects Academy.
He's a good little second baseman. He's got quick feet, moves well.
Played with Coach Ryan years ago, so that's how they know each other.
That's right.
Next pitch in there for a ball. The count is 1-1 on Garrett. Runner on third base. The infield is at normal depth. Brady Smith is holding on the runner over there at third base, and the next pitch on the way is hit foul on third base side. Count goes to 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Mike Garrett, trying to get another run for the Big Blue Rams here. Scotty Diener over on third base, swung on and missed. Drop third strike rule goes into effect. The toss down to first base is going to bring the first baseman off the bag. Josiah Smith's throw down to first base to Jack Warfield was a little wide, and coming in to score is Scotty Diener. So Mike Garrett heads down to first base on a drop third strike.
Got Jalen Smith, number 42 now. Let's see what Jalen can do.
Jalen batting 7th in the lineup, the center fielder. Jalen playing center field tonight. Big tall righty. And we have the runner heading to second base, and he's going to be caught stealing as Ben Spitzer makes the smart move, steps off the mound, and tosses to the second baseman to catch Mike Garrett trying to take off at second base. So that's going to do it for the top half of the first inning. We're underway here at Cheney Stadium. It's the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship baseball game. The Big Blue Rams have a 3-0 lead, but the Raptors are coming up next.
Discover the best of the Pacific Northwest farms, forests, and coastal waters at the Tacoma Farmers Markets. Mouth-watering berries and wild-caught fish, fresh-picked mushrooms, and free-range eggs. Find it all at your neighborhood farmers market.
Well, back here at beautiful Cheney Stadium, the home of the AAA Tacoma Rainiers, the affiliate of the Seattle Mariners, where we have the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship baseball game being played. Randy McNair, Tony Anderson joining you, TV Tacoma Sports Special. And the Raptors taking their cuts here in the bottom of the first inning. 3 runs for the Big Blue Rams in that first inning. 3 important runs, Tony.
Very, very important runs. They come out quick. They're an aggressive team. We can see that at practice the other day, and now we'll see what Connor Meade can do by leading off for the Raptors.
Connor Meade wearing number 27. Finds himself ahead in the 3-0 count on the mound for Big Blue Rams. Cam Beck. Next pitch is in there for a strike. Cam gets the strike that he needs.
He asked me at practice the other day if they were going to have the pitch speed working so he could see how fast he was throwing. Well, he's throwing about 72. That's pretty good for a 14-year-old.
He's bringing the heat. He walks his first batter. And that'll bring up third baseman Brody Smith. So down to first base goes Connor. Big lead over there at first base for Connor. Raptors head coach Mark Need. Raptors finished 12-5 on the season, first place in the division. And the next pitch, or the first pitch on the way to Brody Smith, has popped up to the infield. The pitcher calls for it, and it's going to bounce fair and off of his leg for a fair ball, and the toss down to second. They had a chance for an out. It's going to be overthrown into center field. Wow. Jalen Smith luckily had the backup over there behind second base to keep Connor Mead from advancing to third.
Little nervous as this game gets started.
So we've had a walk and an error on the pitcher. Brody Smith over at first base, and the Raptors have runners right where they want them. The first two runners of the game are on board. Infield moves to double play depth as Ben Spitzer steps up to the plate. Ben, the pitcher for the Raptors, wearing number 24 on his back. Lefty.
During the season, Cam Beck had control issues, so we'll see how he can pull it together here.
A lot of walks for Cam. He throws hard, but he does have his accuracy issues. Runners take off. It's a double steal, and sliding into third base is Connor Mead with a stolen base. And Brody Smith heads to second base.
The minute he broke to the plate, they took off.
Good timing for the runners. The Raptors coming out aggressive as well on the base paths. Toss over to third. And back is Connor Mead. Count 2 balls and no strikes on Ben, the number 3 hitter. Perfect situation here for the Raptors as they have runners on second and third with the lefty Ben Spitzer up. Looking for something on the right side of the field to get 1 or possibly 2 runs in if he can get it through. There's a called strike. And the count now 2-1.
Mr. Spitzer is going to make him throw strikes. He's going to take a few pitches here, I believe.
2-1 pitch. Swing on and missed. 2-2. Right side's playing normal depth. Not playing in. They have a 3-run lead, so they're going to get the easy run over at first base. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a little high, ball 3. We got a full count on Ben. The umpires today, home plate umpire Dan Roberts, the umpire in charge. Tony Alagi's over at first base. Tracy Dillon at second base, and Patrick Lawless, the umpire, over at third base. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off of that backstop net. Last year, I remember on the broadcast, I was talking with Jim Nettles.
Good friend.
Yeah, we were talking about the backstop and how minor league was talking about extending it. And well, looky here at Cheney Stadium, they've mandated these ballparks to extend it.
And I think that's a good thing just from a safety standpoint. And the coach almost got a haircut.
The backstop now extending from the dugout entry to the end of the dugout on the first and third base side. Still a 3-2 count on Ben Spitzer on deck. Center fielder Kieran Mitchell.
Better choke up on that stick a little bit and get around.
Ben definitely looking to protect. No outs here in the bottom of the first inning for the Raptors. Ben called time, but Dan Roberts didn't grant it as the pitcher was getting ready to toss it in. And that'll be the first out of the inning for the Big Blue Rams. They can take a breath there, Tony, as they got that first out after kind of a rough couple batters.
Yeah, maybe Cam will settle down now.
1 away, runners on second and third. Kieran Mitchell, the center fielder, wearing number 12, right-handed batter. The left side of the infield's playing in, possibly for a play at the plate. The right side will stay back. Next pitch gets away from the catcher.
He's coming. He's coming.
Play at home. The throw to home plate is in time to Cam Beck, who was covering home plate. He was on his heels.
Yeah, Cam Beck did a great job getting to the plate. Catcher hustled. Great play by the Big Blue.
Connor Mead thrown out at home plate, trying to advance on the pass ball. So 2 away, and Big Blue catches another break. On the play, Brody Smith advanced over to third base. Raptors still an opportunity to get a run up on the board here in the bottom of the first inning. Next pitch to Kieran is inside.
These two teams, Randy, played each other, I think, 3 times during the season, and the Raptors beat the Big Blue all 3 times. So that the Big Blue has something to prove today.
Yes, they do. And it would be a good time to prove it, Tony, as this is the championship game.
This is it.
A walk to Kieran.
The coach was telling him the other night in practice that this is the one that we need to win. The other 3 didn't matter anymore. Tuesday night was the time to win. So they're starting out good. They weathered this storm pretty good right here with 2 outs. First and third. All they need is a ground ball.
So as Tony said, the Raptors and Big Blue have played each other this year, with the Raptors taking all 4 games. So it's been a 4-game shutout for the Raptors over the Big Blue, and this would be, like Tony said, the perfect opportunity to end that shutout. Runner heading down to second base. That's Kieran. He's going to get down to second with a stolen base as Anthony Peasel opts to throw down to third base to keep an eye on Brody Smith. So stolen bases galore, Tony.
Yes, they're going on the first move.
Next pitch swung on and missed by Carson Johnson. Carson Johnson, the second baseman.
Which you're taught to anticipate that first movement forward and take off. So they're doing a good job of that tonight.
Pitch is in there for a strike called by Dan Roberts, home plate umpire. Carson Johnson, the second baseman, batting in the 5th spot. He's got runners in scoring position. Brody on third. Kieran over on second. 3-0. That pitch is inside, gets away from the catcher, and it appears this time. Oh,
we out there too.
We have a play, another out.
Great mechanics. Wait up, the catcher and the pitcher hustled.
Discarded wrappers, on-the-go cups, litter, debris, clogging storm drains and creating blight? You can help keep your community clean. Start a litter patrol or adopt a spot in your neighborhood. Learn more at cityoftacoma.org/adopt-a-spot or call 311.
Well, back here at Cheney Stadium, we've got ourselves a 3-0 ball game. The Big Blue Rams leading over the Raptors. They're in the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship baseball game. Something that the Rainiers, Metro Parks, TV Tacoma, they all partner together to make a very special day for the young ball players of Tacoma.
It's it.
Ground ball over to the second baseman. Carson Johnson tosses over to first base, and we got a quick out. It's Jalen Smith who grounds out.
This is a great opportunity for the kids, Randy. I know when we did our Sister City Exchange program with Kitakyushu, Japan, and having our kids play here and the kids coming from Japan to play in this stadium, it was absolutely a great opportunity for the young kids.
Caden Kotcher now steps up, batting in the 8th spot for the Big Blue Rams. First pitch is waved on and miss. Caden Kotcher playing right field today. Caden with a great attitude, very coachable. And there's nothing like having a coachable kid, Tony, as he gets hit by this one. Kind of slaps the ball down with his left hand. I don't think that one hurt too bad.
Was that the short? Was that an Ephus pitch, baby?
If you're going to get hit by a pitch,
better to be one like that.
It's going to be the Ephus. That's the one you want. So down to first base goes Caden. And we have time called by the Raptors as they're going to talk with home plate umpire Danimal Roberts, maybe whether or not Caden showed enough effort to get out of the way.
And I think by virtue of the fact that the pitch was behind him, it's good enough for that to be called a hit by pitch.
So here's Samir Mann, center fielder. Samir mostly playing outfield for the Big Blue Rams this year. And believe it or not, Tony, and I love these stories, this is Samir's first year playing baseball.
It is. They
takes a strike. Count.
And he's done exceptionally well coming into a game he'd never played, especially at the age of 14.
Samir in the box. Looks like he's ready to go. He's got a 1-1 count. Here comes the delivery on the way. He swung on and missed at a pitch up at the shoulders. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Caden Kocher over at first base has a lead. And the 1-2 pitch on the way to Samir. He gets a piece of it, pops it up to right field. Back on the ball is Matthew Wood. He's going to call for it, battles the sun, and makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, Samir's favorite player is Bryce Harper from the Washington Nationals, so I think he was trying to jack one over his head.
Not a bad player to love to follow. Bryce Harper hits the ball very hard. Of course, with the Nationals. And now the Big Blue Rams will roll over to the lineup. Number 23, Hayden Forrester. Hayden with a base hit in his first at bat, lead off the game, and had a stolen base as well. Came across as the first run of the game for the Big Blue Rams. First pitch is in there for a strike. 2 outs. Infield playing normal depth, the outfield playing normal depth. The next pitch is swung on and fouled. And the count 0-2 to Hayden.
Hayden was swinging for the cheap seats on that one. Speaking of cheap seats, I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he telling me about the days he used to sit up there in the cheap seats on Tightwad Hill.
Tightwad Hill. This ball gets away from the catcher, Josiah Smith, and down to second base is Caden Kocher.
I remember sitting on the third base side as a little kid, and we'd see that whole hill would be full of people.
You don't see too many people on Tightwad Hill anymore.
No.
They got fences kind of blocking it off. Once in a while, you'll see some tennis players that are up there playing. They'll come outside, they'll watch the game. Always people on the track field trying to get a view of Cheney Stadium for a Rainiers game.
Well, in the old days, Stan Nakarada would try to go up there and get him to come into the game about halfway through, because then they would spend money at the concession stand.
This ball is hit right to the second baseman. Actually hit over the head of the second baseman. Caden Kocher's getting the wave around as the ball is fielded by the center fielder, Kieran.
Stand up double.
Scoring from second base is Caden Kocher. And into second base is Hayden Forrester, his second hit of the ball game, as he screamed one over the second baseman, Carson Johnson. And an RBI for Hayden.
Here comes the shortstop, Mr. Talon.
2 outs. Big Blue adds to their lead, and now they've got Hayden hung up in a pickle. The pitcher chasing him down, the toss over to the third baseman, and he tries to dive underneath the tag, but Brody Smith puts it on him. And Hayden is caught stealing, and that will end it here in the top half of the first inning. Big Blue gets another run, and they're leading 4-0 against the Raptors here in the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game. The Raptors down 4-0 will have their chance to come back in the bottom of the second inning. We'll be back.
You got to learn how to focus in on something that you really love to do, and you got to learn it.
That resourcefulness is a huge part of what got me to where I am today.
You're investing in yourself. My Tacoma community helped me become who I am.
A lot of times we all have skills and we just need someone to push us in that direction.
I knew I'd be trained in my job. I just didn't realize how extensive that training was going to be.
Find out who you want to be, and then find out what it takes to get there.
I love that I'm building something that everyone gets to use.
Well, back here at beautiful Cheney Stadium, where the sky is blue. The fans and especially the players are incredibly happy. We've got ourselves a 4-0 ball game. Big Blue Rams lead by a score of 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. The Raptors an opportunity here, or they're looking for an opportunity to score some runs to get back in this ball game. Carson Johnson will lead things off here in the bottom of the second. Carson was left up to bat in the bottom of the first inning, but Brody Smith was thrown out trying to advance to home plate on a pass ball, and Cam Beck and Anthony Piesel working together to get that third out to end that threat in the bottom of the first inning.
They did. They threw that wild pitch, and the kids hustled twice in that inning.
So Carson has an 0-1 count on him, and the next pitch is a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carson Johnson. Right-hander. Next pitch is fired in there by Cam Beck at 72 miles an hour.
Yeah, Carson batted 167 during the season. He's choking up on the bat now. He knows he's got to get tough.
2 pitches. It looked like a breaker from Cam. And that'll be strikeout number 2 for Cam Beck.
Here comes Jensen Kalal, number 17. It's exciting for me to see Jensen playing ball. I've known him since he was a little baby.
Jensen, the left fielder today, batting in the 6th spot. Takes a deep breath as he's down in an 0-1 count, looking to get something going for the Raptors here in the bottom of the second inning. Cam Beck's next pitch is a little high.
Jensen comes from a wrestling family, so it's nice to see him playing baseball.
Next pitch down and away, fastball. Now Cam Beck on the mound. Throws a hard fastball, and sometimes will mix in a curveball. We've seen that a couple times, and then also will throw the change as well. And as we just saw right there, it's 61 miles an hour, so he got some good change difference in his pitches, coming at 72, and then that one at 61, making it harder for Jensen here.
Yes, and he's getting the ball over the plate this inning, so he's kind of relaxed a little bit now.
2-2 pitch way outside and away. Tried to come at him with a fastball. Added a couple more miles per hour to that one.
74 miles per hour on that one.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Jensen. Jensen trying to get on any way he can. The 3-2 pitch is up high, and he'll get on with a walk. That'll bring up Jack Warfield.
He let that one get away from him.
Jack Warfield wearing number 9 on his back, the first baseman. Throw back to first base.
And Mr. Warfield had a .219 average during the season.
Jack at age 14 goes to Jason Lee Middle School, heading into the 8th grade this year, as the majority of the Raptors are. A very young team if you think about it, especially when you compare them to Big Blue. This is ground to the third baseman, Scotty Diener. He has the force out at second base, but Jack's able to run it out at first base, fielder's choice.
Pulled him out for plate.
So Jensen out at second base. 2 away. And here's catcher Josiah Smith.
Yeah, most of the young men on the Big Blue have been playing sports together since they were a lot younger, so they're all familiar with one another, especially on the football field.
Josiah Smith.
It's their catcher and outfielder.
Age 13. Josiah attending Mason Middle School. On deck is Matthew Wood, number 9 hitter. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Big Blue Rams lead by a score of 4-0. Jack Warfield has a lead over at first base, and the next pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Josiah Smith. Cam Beck comes set, and the pitch on the way. It is a strike.
Now the runner at first base, he's just kind of walking off, making it look like he's not interested in going, but I think he's going to take off here one of these times.
1-2 pitch on the way from Cam is down in the dirt. A good dig out by the catcher, Anthony. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can hear the coach yelling to Jack over at first base. You got to be advancing on a pass ball. You got to get him in scoring position because these Raptors have got to start getting some runs up on the board. The next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Another strikeout for Cam Beck. That is his 3rd strikeout of the game. Well, we're headed to the top of the 3rd inning here at Cheney Stadium. It's the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game between the Big Blue Rams and the Raptors, 2 teams that have played each other 4 times this season, and the Raptors getting the best of the Big Blue Rams all 4 times.
And Mr. Talon, the shortstop, up to the plate.
Talon Kaiser, the shortstop. 0 for 1 today, flew out to left field in his first at bat of the game.
And I think during the season, Talon hit over 400.
403 to be exact.
So he's got a good stick on. They're leaning on his shoulder, but he's going to get a little movement out of it.
Talon, a great hitter, as his average indicates. He's going to chop this one to the shortstop, and it's get underneath the shortstop's backhand for a base hit. Talon Kaiser's on board with.
Now here comes Cameron Beck, the pitcher.
Talon Kaiser over at first base. Cam Beck now is going to step up to the dish. Cam Beck, 1 for 1 today with a single. That ball's hit well to center field. Back is the center fielder, Kieran Mitchell, is going to get over his head. I don't think it's going to get all the way to the wall, but it might get deep enough. As now Cam rounding second, heading to third. He's rounding third. He's got to drop the trailer. He's going for the inside the Parker, and he scores.
Cameron Beck.
Cam Beck with an inside the park home run here in the top half of the 3rd inning. And the Big Blue Rams add 2 more runs on the 2-run inside the park, and it's all smiles in the Big Blue dugout.
I think that was a repeat of what I saw on ESPN the other night with the inside the park home run being the #1 hit of the evening.
Cam Beck got a hold of it, put it to dead center field. It's going to be tough to get one out of here at Cheney Stadium, dead center field. It's 425.
That's not too far.
With a 29-foot tall batter's eye out there in center field, and only 2 Rainiers players have put it over. But Cam Beck definitely gave it a ride and extends the lead to 6-0 now as Scotty Diener. Scotty had a base hit in his first at bat, a single, scoring an RBI. Grounded to the shortstop. It's Connor Meade, and the ball is
through first
thrown
base.
Away.
Randy, when I was a kid, I saw Adrian Garrett hit it over that 425, and back then the Big Green Monster was taller. And then I saw Harmon Killebrew, when we were the Twins affiliate, hit one out over that fence as well.
Was this batting practice, or are we talking a game?
No, it was in in those days. Back in those days, the big club would come once a year and play the AAA team, and it was fun when you were a kid. Nowadays, they don't have the schedules to do that, but there's more teams in the league, and they don't have the time off. But it sure was a great experience as a kid to watch those major league players come here.
Anthony Pizzo, the hitter now. That ball is hit into the 5-6 hole in the left field for a base hit. Trying to push for third base is Scotty Diener. The throw to the cutoff man, Connor Meade. Will stay there at Connor, and a base hit.
Good cutoff.
Base hit for Anthony Peasel. And now Mike Garrett, the pickup man, playing second base. Got on board back in the first inning because of a dropped third strike. And now Michael looking to had another run, maybe two, as the runner takes off. That's Anthony Peasel down to second base, and now the forced double play is off. Runners at second and third. The infield will now come in on Mike Garrett. 1-0 pitch. Little line outside. Ben Spitzer, the pitcher.
Mr. Garrett's a ninth grader at Callis High.
Popped up, that'll get into the seats. Souvenir for a fan, whoever wants to chase it down, and we've got one who's definitely sprinting towards that ball. Whether or not they can keep it, I don't know. 2 balls, 1 strike on Mike Garrett. Swung on and missed. Runners will hold as catcher does a good job of keeping the ball out in front of him. That's Josiah Smith back there working hard today. Big Blue Rams lead by a score of 6-0 over the Raptors. We are in the top of the third inning. The Raptors getting 2 runs already here in the top. I'm sorry, the Rams getting 2 runs here in the top of the third inning. On an inside the park home run. This ball's hit up the middle and it's off the glove of Connor Mead. It'll go into shallow center field as Kieran Medchill comes in to grab it. 2 runs will score. And the throw back to first base to try and backdoor Mike Garrett is going to get away from the first baseman, Jack Warfield, and down to second base goes Mike Garrett. And those errors by the Raptors, Tony, are not helping them out.
Yeah, they're Raptors right now of their own worst enemy.
Number 42, James Smith.
It often happens when you aren't disciplined and you throw the ball around. These are the things that can happen. So you have to be a little more disciplined in your game.
Scotty Diener, Anthony Peasel come in and score on that single. And now Jalen Smith will step up to the plate, his second at bat of the game. Grounded out in his last at bat to the second baseman. Takes a big cut and misses. 0-1. Jalen Smith, very quick player.
Yes, he's very tall and slender, but he can run like the wind.
Also coming into the season, hadn't played for quite a few years. And his offense struggled a little bit, but that can be as expected as you're trying to get that timing back. You know, hitting is all about that timing.
It is, you know, timing, muscle memory. We used to just take a tee and just hit balls one right after the other, just to get our timing and our body used to that movement.
100 balls a night.
At least.
Kids, if you're watching this right now, at least 100 balls a night off the tee. This one's hit to the second, or to the shortstop, Connor Mead. They'll toss over to Brody Smith over at third base, and they'll catch Mike Garrett trying to advance.
I think the Big Blue just getting a little too excited because they got a lead.
That is a fielder's choice, 6'5" in your book.
Here we go with Caden Kotcher.
1 out. The big Caden Kotcher.
Right fielder for the Big Blue.
There goes Jalen Smith. No way you're getting him.
No.
As he slides in there. He didn't even have to slide.
See, as soon as that pitcher just made that first movement, he took off.
Another stolen base for Big Blue. Count is 1 ball and no strikes on Caden Kotcher, who walked in his first at bat. Advanced to second on a pass ball, and then later scored a run. 14 years old in the 9th grade. Caden Kotcher is. Jalen taking off for third base. Another stolen base for Jalen.
Well, I can tell you this, that the head football coach at Rogers High School has got to be salivating looking at these big football players that are coming his way.
Favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr. from Mr. Kocher.
He's got good taste.
Yes, he does. Caden takes one outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Caden might be looking to walk again. Samir Mann is on deck. 1 runner on over at third base. That's Jalen Smith. We got 1 out. This one's hit to the shortstop. This is going to easily score Jalen Smith. The toss over to first base is going to get away from the first baseman as the shortstop, Connor Meade, didn't really give a good toss over to first base.
He was indecisive. He was going to go home or going to go to first, and he waited too long.
So Caden gets on board because of a throwing error. Jalen Smith scores.
Here comes Mr. Samir, 22.
That's the 9th run of the ball game for Big Blue, a team that just missed the championship in the league that they played in last year. And Tony, as we've talked, the Big Blue Rams, speaking to them, they felt that the way they were going to beat the Raptors was by pitching well. And you mentioned the pitcher.
Yeah,
Cam Beck.
Cam Beck, and even though he's a little inconsistent and wild, he pulls it together. And their defense is showing up, and they're ahead 9-0 on a team that beat them 4 times during the season.
They're pitching well and they're hitting well. They're being patient. They're stealing. I mean, Big Blue is doing everything right, everything that they need to do to beat this team that has had their number all year long.
Maybe the way is just they rested for several weeks and didn't practice, and they're playing pretty well tonight.
Samir pops this one up to the infield. The second baseman Carson Johnson comes in and grabs the second out of the inning for the Raptors. So 2 away. Caden has to hold up at first base. And Big Blue rolls over the lineup to Hayden Forrester. Taken off to second base. Look at this. Big Caden Kocher is going to head over with a stolen base.
Well, they weren't paying attention to him, so he just took off.
Well, and that's what you got to do. You might not have all the speed in the world, but if you're a smart base runner, you can find ways to get stolen bases here once in a while. This one's hit back here behind the third base side. The first row of seats here at Cheney Stadium. Stadium that's been around since 1960, Tony, and you've mentioned a lot of history so far in this broadcast about Cheney Stadium.
Well, I was 3 years old when they played the first game in Cheney Stadium, and I had the great pleasure to grow up and watch many games here.
That ball's hit down the third base line, called foul by the home plate umpire, Dan Roberts. The count on Hayden, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, the idea, the development began in 1957. It was a shared idea by businessmen Ben Cheney and Clay Huntington. Of course, Clay Huntington Way Drive is a street named after Clay and stadium named after Ben. This ball's popped up to left field to get back to Cheney Stadium.
Well,
and in just a moment, as the third out of the inning is made, as Hayden Forrester is first out of the game. He's got 2 singles, and he pops up to the left fielder, Jensen Kalel. So that'll do it. 5 runs come across the plate for the Big Blue Rams. We head to the bottom of the third inning. The Raptors trying to get something going. And the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game. We'll be right back.
1,764 students in Tacoma Public Schools reported being homeless in 2014.
But we're back here in Grit City, Tacoma, Washington. Playing here at Cheney Stadium, the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship Baseball game brought to you by TV Tacoma.
Randy, you mentioned Clay Huntington. He was a good friend of mine, and when I went and visited Clay 2 days before he passed away, and he was such a great sportsman, a great gentleman. He was one of the key founders of the Tacoma Athletic Commission, which I'm proud to say I'm a past president of the Tacoma Athletic Commission. And when Clay did pass away, I stood up at our meeting and said we need to name something after Clay. And Doug MacArthur and I talked a lot about which street and where we wanted to go. And Metro Parks was very cooperative, and so Sheridan became Clay Huntington Way.
That came from you, Tony.
Yes, it did.
Look at that.
Well, actually, it came from Clay. Clay earned it. He was such a great gentleman and a great sportsman, and he was a good friend to everybody.
Wow.
Clay was also the person that was behind Heidelberg Complex being built back in 1957.
Matthew Wood, the hitter here. Oof, takes a cutted one way up high.
And Norman Davis was the president of Heidelberg Brewery at that time, and they donated $50,000 to the project, and so hence the name Heidelberg.
Baseball was a big deal to Ben Cheney and Clay Huntington.
Yes,
they
it was.
Here so bad, and they did everything they could to work out a deal, and they got it.
They put together one of the most miraculous feats, getting the stadium built in record time, opening for the 1960 season. All of the box seats that came into Cheney Stadium back then all came from Seal Stadium down in San Francisco, and it was just amazing. And those seats stayed here.
Project took only 3 months and 14 days to complete. It was dubbed the 100-day wonder. They got it done.
They
in
did.
Time for that 1960 season when the Giants, they were the first team to come in here.
Yep. And, you know, when you have dynamic icons like Mr. Ben Cheney, Clay Huntington, and then they hired Stan Naccarato to run the business management of it, and Stan did a great job. There was no greater hustler than Mr. Tacoma, Stan Naccarato.
Rest in peace, both of them.
Yes.
Nathan Schaus, the hitter, the extra hitter, number 10, hitting number 10 in the lineup, wearing number 99 on that back. 99, a number you don't see too often in baseball, Tony.
No.
Matthew Wood got the inning started off right with a walk, and he's over on first base. Now Nathan Schaus trying to keep things going to roll over the lineup. Nathan takes a swing and a miss.
Well, he really wanted that when he went after that high pitch.
2 balls and 1 strike on Nathan. On deck is Connor Meade. Raptors rolling over the lineup. Next pitch. Cam Beck, who's still in pitching here in the 3rd inning. 3 balls and 1 strike. Matthew Wood with a small lead, but he's going to take off on the pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second base is going to be in plenty of time to get Matthew Wood. They catch him stealing.
Good throw. I do want to say, Randy, that Metro Parks was fantastic in getting Clay Huntington Way done. The cooperation was unbelievable. And then the other great cooperation we've had with Metro Parks is the renaming of Norman Davis Field, the large field over at Heidelberg, after another sports icon here in Tacoma, Mr. Bob McGinnis.
Back-to-back walks for the Raptors. Nathan Schaus heads down to first base. Cam's 2nd walk in a row, and I'm wondering, it's a 9-0 lead. I'm wondering if this is getting the attention of Big Blues coach.
I think
Jim Peasel.
I think pretty soon Cam's throwing a lot of pitches tonight. He might be thinking here pretty soon to make a switch.
This is Connor Meade. Connor walked in his first at bat of the ball game back in the 1st inning. On deck is Brody Smith. Connor Meade, spelled M-E-A-D-E, Meade.
Meade.
Age 13. Going to school at Mason Middle School. Grounded right back to the pitcher. It's off the glove of Cam Beck, which ricochets into the 5-6 hole. Talon was heading over to second base to maybe cover for a possible play. And
watch him, he's going to third.
Now the throw back into the pitcher. Cam Beck gets away from Cam, and now the throw down to second as Connor Mead heads to second base on the play. And now the Raptors have a little something going, and Big Blue, despite a 9-0 lead here, they need to take a deep breath. No big deal. You got yourselves a 9-0 lead.
Yeah, 9-run lead. Yeah, there's not much to worry about right here. Don't panic.
So Matthew to third base.
They need
Nathan to second.
Get their composure here. Don't panic. But Randy, I'm a little prejudiced, but I can't imagine a finer stadium throughout AAA baseball than what we have right here in Tacoma, Washington.
Connor Mead is on second, sorry. Schaus is over at third.
Here they go again.
He's going to get away from the catcher, Anthony Pizzo, and here you have it.
Can't get him this time. That ball didn't bounce enough.
Raptors get their first run of the ball game, and it comes here in the bottom of the third inning on a pass ball on Anthony Pizzo, and that's happened before that. That happened twice, and they had nailed the runner. They had nailed the runners twice, and now they finally get a run on the pass ball. And the Raptors on the board, 9-1. On the play, heading to third base is Connor Mead. So Schaus scores, and now Brody Smith is up to the plate. Brody
trying to throw that curveball, and
Brody got on with an error back in the first inning. Now Brody's trying to keep things going for the Raptors. They've got an 8-run deficit here in the bottom of the third. And there's a walk to Brody Smith. He's down to first base. Runners at the corners. Then Spitzer steps up to the plate for his second at bat of the game.
he struck out this first time, Randy. Let's see what he can do his second time up.
Let's see if Brody takes off over at first base. He's got a big lead over there, as Hayden's not holding him on. So it appears they're going to give up that base. And no, he's going to hold up at first. Pitch is way up high for ball one on Ben.
Yeah, I think this pitch is good shot. He's going to go.
Not too big of a lead over there at first base for Brody.
They decided to hold him on and keep him close.
Now he's going to take off. Swung on and ripped down the first base line, but foul.
He had a good swing. He got good wood on it.
1 ball, 1 strike on Brody. Well, you get it all here at Cheney Stadium when you play here in the Metro Parks 14U championship game. You got the crowd pumps. You got the pictures up on the video board. Ben Spitzer's pictures up there right now with his team logo.
That's the great thing for these young ball players. To have this opportunity is just wonderful.
There's Ben up there on the board. That smile tells you everything.
It does.
That ball is going to hit Ben in the foot. And Cam Beck, that might be the end of it. We'll find out what Big Blue decides to do with Cam Beck, and it looks like we are going to get a coaching visit. The bases are now loaded for the Raptors, and their number 4 hitter is going to step up to the plate.
Talent out there at shortstop. He is loosening up that arm. Let's see if they make the change.
Cam has gone 2 in the third inning. And has only given up 1 run. He's done great up to this point. They were worried about Cam maybe being able to dial in on the strike zone, but up to this inning, he has done just that. He's done well. And we are going to have a pitching change. So it looks like Talon, as Tony talked about earlier in the broadcast, Talon Kaiser will step up on the mound. What you know about Talon?
Well, he's their best pitcher. He doesn't have the speed that Cam Beck had, but he has pretty darn good control, and he's got good stuff from what I learned on the other day watching him at practice and talking with the coach.
So Cam goes 2 1/3, only gives up 1 run. Had a couple strikeouts. I believe he had about 3 strikeouts today. A good day for Cam Beck. You can't be disappointed if you're Cam Beck to come into Cheney Stadium and pitch like that in the championship game, Tony.
No, he did really good overall, so he should be very proud of himself. And you know, they have a 9-1 lead, so it's pretty good, huh?
We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Cheney Stadium. Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game. The Big Blue Rams lead by a score of 9-1. Big Blue with 3 runs in the first, a run in the second, and 5 runs in the top of the 3rd here. And now Kieran Medchill, the center fielder, is going to step up to the plate, who walked in his first plate appearance, and he's going to try and do some damage here to get these Raptors back in the ball game. Kieran Medchill. Wearing number 12. Walked in his first plate appearance. Stole second base. And now with the infield in, at least on the left side, the infield is in, looking for a play at home plate, and then a double play opportunity at first. First baseman also playing in, so the corner's definitely in. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. It's outside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Talon Kaiser, the first batter he's facing here, falling behind by a count of 3-1. The outfield playing normal depth. The 3-1 pitch is inside in the dirt, and that's ball 4. Down to first base goes Kieran. In comes to score Connor Meade. Brody heads to third base. Ben to second base. And now second baseman Carson Johnson steps up to the plate. Carson, 13 years old, heading to Curtis Junior High in the fall. First pitch taken up high, ball 1. Favorite baseball team, the Seattle Mariners, who's having, Tony, would you say a pretty decent season this year?
I would say that 21 games over 500 is a good deep pass ball.
This ball gets away from the catcher, Anthony Pizzo, and scoring easily is Brody Smith for the second run of the ball game. Make that the second run of the inning for the Raptors, third run of the ball game for them, and the score now 9-3. So Brody scores. Ben heads to third base. Kieran heads to second. First base is now open. Carson Johnson has a 2-0 count. Definite green light situation for Carson
all the way
to swing away here. The next pitch is right down the middle, taken for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on Carson. Carson's favorite MLB player, Jose Altuve. Not a bad player to have be your favorite. Next
pitch. Not a bad player. Last year's MVP.
Called strike. 2-2. So Talon Kaiser fighting his way back to try and get back into this count, and that he has. 2-2 pitch on the way now is just a little bit outside. Carson's worked himself into a 3-2 count. Carson struck out in his first at bat. He's got runners on second and third here in the bottom of the 3rd. The next pitch is down and away for ball 4. 4 consecutive walks for the Raptors here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That'll load up the bases once again for the Raptors.
Here comes.
And now Jensen steps up to the plate.
Jensen Kalau, 8th grader at Mason Middle School.
First pitch swung on and ripped, but Jensen can't come up with contact. 0-1. Quickly working is the pitcher, Talon Kaiser, and a swung on and fouled back, and Talon finds himself quickly ahead on Jensen. Jensen walked in his first at bat. Go ahead, Tony.
It's no surprise his favorite team is the Mariners, but his favorite player is Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That bounces in front of home plate, gets way back to the backstop. No way they're getting anybody here. Another run across the plate as that ball bounced, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 feet in front of home plate. Hard play for Anthony to field. That'll be a wild pitch. And another run will score. All the runners advance 90 feet. Kieran on third base. Carson goes to second. First base is now open, and here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to Jensen. Swung on and hit off the glove of the pitcher into left field for a base hit. That's going to score 2 runners. Rounding first base is Jensen into second, and the Raptors have put up 6 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
With 1 out. They're hanging tough. And Randy, look who just joined us. Mr. Aaron Pointer. Great sports icon here in the city of Tacoma, and watched him when I was a kid, and then he went over and played in Japan as well, and I happened to follow him over there to watch other players, but Aaron's been a great Tacoma and a great for sports.
Welcome to the booth, Aaron. Nice to meet you.
That's right. He came back in 1972 and decided to stay here in Tacoma, and boy, are we glad you did, Aaron.
Good choice. So a 2-run double for Jensen, and we have a pause in the action right now.
Vapes are harmful for youth. Just like tobacco products, local, state, and federal laws now regulate vapor product retailers. And similar to smoking regulations, it's against the law to vape in any indoor public place or place of employment. It's also against the law to sell or give vapor products to anyone under the age of 18. Vapor products are now regulated. Learn about the new regulations and how they affect you. For more information, visit thinkagainpiercecounty.com.
All right, we are ready to get back underway here at Cheney Stadium. You're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1 out. Runner on second base, that's Jensen. And Jack Warfield is the hitter who grounded into a fielder's choice in his first at bat. He takes a first pitch strike. Jack, a lefty.
Swinging
the other
bat.
way and hit that one foul. 0-2 the count.
Randy, I'm waiting for this situation to occur. 2 outs, 2 men on, 2 strikes on the batter. Clay Huntington's favorite thing to say is the deuces prevail.
0-2. Talon Kaiser got himself a little break after that last double. Break in the action, so maybe that gave him an opportunity to take a deep breath. He's ahead 0-2 now. The 0-2 pitch is in there for a called strike 3 on Jack Warfield. And that is a much needed out for the Big Blue Rams. 2 outs. Jensen. Bilal is over at second base. Now number 21, Josiah Smith, the catcher, steps into the box. 2 outs. Would love another run here, of course. Throw back to second base. Josiah Smith, 13 years old, in the 8th grade, Mason Middle School. Favorite food is spaghetti and meatballs, Tony. You love yourself some spaghetti.
I think that's pretty good with me since I'm half Italian and I cook a lot of that at home.
Least favorite food is seafood. That ball's going to get by the catcher through his legs, and that's going to allow Jensen to advance to third base 90 feet closer to home plate for that 7th run. Josiah Smith has a 1-1 count. Talon Kaiser's just trying to get the Big Blue out of this inning without any more damage. Raptors have put up 6 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Talon comes set, And the 1-1 pitch on the way is a little low.
Now he's got it. He's trying to aim the ball in there. He's just got to rear back and fire. Just got to throw the ball.
Fouled away. Talon kind of working kind of quick. Trying to catch Raptors off guard here. Zoom a fastball in by him. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here on the bottom of the 3rd inning. The batter is Josiah Smith, and a pickoff move over to third base. Doesn't have the runner fooled. That's Jensen over there. Infield playing normal depth, just looking to get that final out over at first base. The outfield playing normal depth, looking to squeeze anything that's up in the air to get out of this inning. The next pitch is in there for a strike. For a called strike 3, Jensen goes down. Make that Josiah goes down looking. Not a bad inning for the Raptors. They put up 6 runs and they move within 3 of Big Blue Rams. We're heading to the 4th inning. We've got ourselves one heck of a championship game here at Cheney Stadium. We'll be back with the 4th inning action after this.
Tacoma voters said yes to invest in city streets and passed 2 propositions for increased funding for street repair and improvements. Residents can stay informed by visiting TacomaStreetsInitiative.org for a layout of this funding and to see where projects are happening around the city. Projects are starting now. Keep an eye out for these signs posted at improvement sites. Over the next decade, these dedicated funds will be key to repairing and maintaining city streets in a significant way. See this funding in action at TacomaStreetsInitiative.org.
Well, you're watching a TV Tacoma Sports Special. It's the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship game. The Big Blue Rams and the Raptors going at it here at beautiful Cheney Stadium. An opportunity for these teams to play their championship game on in a professional ballpark. That's Cheney Stadium.
And here's Mr. Talon, number 8. He moved from shortstop to pitcher. Let's see if he can get a line drive here for a base hit.
Talon is 1 for 2 tonight. Flew out to left field, and he singled in his last at bat. That pitch is well stroked to left field. Back on the ball is Jensen, and that's going to get over his head and roll all the way to the wall. Rounding first base is Talon. He's going to easily coast into second base with a leadoff double here in the top of the 4th inning. What a shot by Talon, Tony.
That was an outstanding shot, and the reason he didn't get a triple out of that is Jensen Kalau was playing way out in left field, so they must know something that we didn't.
Took the double, or took the triple away, I should say, from
he did.
Talon. But a good start to the 4th inning.
What a beautiful swing that was.
Here's Cam Beck. Cam was the starting, is the starting pitcher, but they took him out during the 3rd inning.
Yeah, they moved him to shortstop, and then last inning he switched with the 3rd baseman.
Runner goes, throw down to 3rd. Gets by the 3rd baseman, but great backup by Connor Meade, backing up the throw at 3rd base, keeping that ball from going into left field and keeping this game right where it is at 9-6.
Well, Connor Meade showed great fundamental baseball there by backing up that 3rd baseman on that throw.
Lots of hustle there. That pitch is outside. You know, sometimes that thought will creep into your mind when you're playing in hot weather like this. Do I really need to back that throw up? It's so hot out here. But Connor hustling anyways. There's a big cut.
That, you know, in 14U, when you get to the Pony League level, kids are just really starting to click with the game of baseball, learning all the fundamentals of the game, making it a practice where their body will automatically make that move that they should make.
You know, Ben almost has, I think we talked about it earlier, that kind of ephus pitch. It kind of,
he does.
Changes speed and kind of floats in there. This one's popped up to the infield. The shortstop will call off. That's Connor Meade calling off Brody Smith.
Connor Meade's a good young ball player.
1 away. That'll bring up Scotty Diener.
Yeah, the kids at this age are really starting to develop their skills.
Scotty Diener, a player that's very passionate about the ball game. He's going to ground this one down the third base line. The pitcher picks it up. And that's going to be an infield single for Scotty Diener, holding up at third base his talent he had to. And I think that ball was picked up maybe a little bit too soon by the pitcher. Should have let that roll. You weren't going to get the runner at first base anyways. Especially when these chalk lines are very light. They're not those thick chalk lines that can keep it in, right, Aaron? Here's Anthony Peasel, the catcher. 1 for 2 tonight. There goes the runner, as predicted. He'll get down to second without an effort by the defense. Back in the day, Randy, you could see those heavy, thick, white chalk lines that would keep that ball fair. Chalk lines have kind of faded here at Cheney Stadium as we are in the 4th inning, and we got time called by home plate umpire Dan Roberts. He balked. He has called a balk. Number 42. And comes Mr. Anthony Pizzle. Got time called on the field. The coach wants an explanation of why that was a balk. I don't think he stopped. I think that's why he called. He didn't stop. He just. Carson Johnson is the pitcher. Was the second baseman, but it was Ben. Ben was the pitcher, and now Carson Johnson moved in, and the next pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2. Pitch in there for a called strike 3 for the second out of the inning. Anthony Peasel goes down looking. 2 outs, and now Mike Garrett, the second baseman. Let's see what Mike can do. So 1 run is in for the Big Blue Rams, their 10th run of the ball game after that balk. 1 ball, no strikes on Mike Garrett. Garrett is 1 for 2 tonight. Had a single in his last at bat. 2-run single. He's got the Griffey profile pick up there on the board, Tony. He's got that hat turned backwards. Yes. He's ready to go. There's that Ephus pitch. Has got Garrett way out in front for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Mike Garrett. Must have been 1992. We were in the King Dome up high with the Japanese high school all-star team from Kitakyushu, watching the Mariners warm up, and Dave Valley and Ken Griffey and what a good bunch of guys. And popped up. Right, 2 outs, so the runners take off to the infield. The second baseman makes a fantastic catch. I believe that's Carson Johnson out there. Turned him all the way around. Battled the sun. Matthew Wooden couldn't come in and make the catch, so Carson steps up and makes a fantastic play to end the threat here in the top of the 4th inning.
Come find the freshest ingredients and the best of our local harvest at South Tacoma Farmers Market. There's something for everyone. It's always fresh, always local, and always fun. Sundays, mid-May through mid-September.
Well, we're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Cheney Stadium. The Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship game. This to determine the winner of it all here in the 2018 season, and the final game being played right here at beautiful Cheney Stadium. Matthew Wood's going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Raptors. They look to keep their momentum going. This one's popped up to the second baseman. The catch is made by Carson Johnson. He did a great job battling the sun. So Matt Wood goes down, flying out to the second baseman, so 1 away. Yeah, this is the toughest time during the evening, Randy, with the sun and the shadows. Both the infield, the outfield, and the hitters. It's a challenge for everybody. As Nathan Schaus steps up for his second plate appearance of the game. He walked in his first plate appearance. Time's called by home plate umpire Dan Roberts.
Number 99.
1 ball, no strikes on Schaus.
He took a good cut at that ball.
Schaus, age 12. He's a young one heading into the 7th grade. Favorite movie, The Sandlot.
Yeah, the Big Blue are all older. Raptors are all younger. Raptors, can't wait to see what they do next year.
They're going to be a good squad.
Yes, they'll have everybody back.
This one's hit down the first base side, and it's foul. Nathan Schaus. Seven RBIs during the regular season, had a double. 2-2 count on the way. Way up high, ball 3. 3-2. The Raptors with 6 runs back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They gave one back to Big Blue in the top of the 4th. Score currently sits at 10-6. So now the Raptors are trying to keep that momentum going as Schaus goes down swinging. For the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up number 27, Connor Meade.
He went down swinging, and I don't mind seeing a guy going down swinging, but boy, I sure don't like to watch him take that 3rd strike.
Swing and a miss by Connor. A 13-year-old 8th grader out of Mason Middle School.
Connor Meade.
Grounded right back to the pitcher. And
1-2-3.
That's a 1-2-3 inning. Raptors are retired in order. We head to the 5th inning here at beautiful Cheney Stadium. Your score: the Big Blue Rams 10, Raptors 6.
Where do you get ready for your day? For more than 400 people, the answer for them is their car.
Well, to the top of the 5th inning we go. Here at Cheney Stadium, the Metro Parks 14U championship game. Number 12 up to bat.
Jalen Smith, number 12.
Two count, swung on and missed. I believe this is Shea McGee.
Yeah, Jalen
fouled away.
Smith is his favorite team is the Dodgers, and his favorite player, number 42, Jackie Robinson.
Batter heads on down to first base. And number 27. This is number 27, Gabe Keeler. So I think the Rams have made some changes to their lineup. Usually this would be Caden Kotcher.
When I talked to the coach the other day at practice, his main goal was to have every player play in this game, at least half of the game.
Gabe Keeler takes a strike. So on first base is going to be number 12. That's Shea McGee. Jalen Smith is out of the ball game. Couple changes for the Big Blue Rams. Sorry about that. Kind of threw me off a little bit, but we're back at it here at Cheney Stadium. 0-2 count on Gabe Keeler, and that ball's going to get away from the catcher and down to second base.
Wild pitch.
Goes Shea McGee. 10-6 is your score here at Cheney Stadium here in the top of the fifth inning.
And no outs.
Big Blue Rams up to bat. Shea McGee on board. He's at second base after that pass ball. And a swing and a miss by Gabe for out number 1. All right, so here's Samir. Samir 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown out to the right fielder, flown out to the second baseman. 0 for 2. Looking to come up with his first base hit at Cheney Stadium. Toss back to second. On the mic tonight, the public address announcer for Cheney Stadium is Anthony Finney.
Anthony has a good name, Randy.
He does. Goes by Finney, but yes. Swung on and missed by Samir. Anthony doing a great job on the mic, announcing the players' names, giving them that big league feel.
I really like the fact that they're on the scoreboard, their picture, their number. Outstanding.
That pitch is in there for a strike, called by Dan Roberts, the home plate umpire. 1-2 on Samir.
Well, he's got to protect now. He's got to choke up on that bat and swing it. Keep his head in there and swing it through.
1-2 count on Samir. He goes after it, but is unable to come up with contact.
Connor Meade's doing an outstanding job up there on the mound.
Back-to-back strikeouts for number 27. Rolls the lineup over to Hayden Forrester. This is Hayden's third at bat. He's 2 for 3 tonight, 2 singles. Flew out to left field in his last at bat. Having a good day here at Cheney Stadium. Takes a big swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Well, with the last name Forrester, I hope he's got a big stick there.
0-1. Raptors trying to make this a quick inning. Trying to get the sticks back in their hand. They're down by 4 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch is outside. There goes the runner. Got a late start, and
he's out.
He's going to be thrown out at third base, and that's going to end the inning as Shea McGee is caught stealing at third base, and that'll end it here in the top half of the 5th inning.
No matter what you've heard, vape is no game. Vapes contain cancer-causing chemicals, nicotine,
which is a highly addictive substance that can impair your brain development. There are no resets in life. Find out more at facebook.com/vape-is-no-game.
Back here at Cheney Stadium, home of the Rainiers, and team I failed to mention, Seattle Sounders FC2 as of this year.
Yeah, they just had a game here the other day.
They did. You can tell by the lines on the field that where the goal sits, the out of bounds lines.
Right.
Line drive by Brody Smith, but it's caught by the second baseman. And out number 1 for the Raptors here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And what's interesting is when they do the change and they take the mound out, how they do it, and they pick it up, move it all in one piece, come back and put it back in, and then they've got the sod that they put in the infield and down the lines, the home plate. It looks really nice.
They do a really good job. That was something they were worried about, but something they wanted to nail when it came down to the conversion, making the baseball field look good, because soccer's a rough sport when it comes to grass.
Right.
And Mike Huey and the grounds crew have just done a tremendous job this year dealing with the conversion of the soccer field and the baseball field. The field looks great today.
It looks absolutely awesome, and they should be proud of how the field looks. And I can tell you
There's a base hit in the right field. Number 24, Ben Spitzer, that gets by the right fielder. That's going to run all the way to the warning track. Ben chugging around.
He's going to third.
First, he's now chugging around second, lifting those knees high up in the air as he slides into third base. Might have an opportunity to score here, but the ball's going to ricochet.
Holds him up. The coach holds him up, which was good.
Off of the fence, and that'll be a single for Ben. That'll be an error on the right fielder.
I can tell you, Randy, that the sod father, who used to be the outstanding groundskeeper here, Bob Gustafsson, my buddy who's up at Safeco, who does an outstanding job up there. He's proud of the job that they're doing here, I can tell you that. They're carrying on his tradition.
Kieran Metchell, the hitter.
Number 12 just got out of the way of that pitch. It almost hit him.
Kieran's walked twice tonight. Looking to put bat on ball. To get Ben in from third base. Keep chipping away at that 10-6 lead that the Big Blue Rams have. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning here at Cheney Stadium. Once again, 10-6 your score. Here in the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game.
And I see these batters moving out of the way of the ball. I can't imagine I used to be able to move to get out of the way, because now I think about getting out of the way, but my body wouldn't move.
That ball's going to hit Kieran.
Dead ball.
They'll go down to first base, so runners at the corners now for the Raptors, and now Carson Johnson steps up to the plate. Number 42. The Raptors making another run at it here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They got 2 runners on, runners at the corners with only 1 out. Carson Johnson at the plate. Carson has struck out, and he's walked today.
Well, the Big Blue were fortunate there that it hit the batter and made it a dead ball, or they would have scored another run.
Runner goes, he throws. And sliding into second base is Kieran Metchell. Holding up at third base is Ben. And now runners in scoring position, second and third with only 1 away. Carson, this is a big moment for him here at Cheney Stadium. Where's number 42 on his back? Batting from the right side of the plate.
Good cut. Good cut.
Yeah. They need to burn that sound effect. And I vouched for that to happen.
I was looking for water because I heard flipper.
The Dolphin has made its comeback to Cheney Stadium, and it got a laugh out of the home plate umpire, Dan Roberts. Dan Roberts, during Rainiers home games, he runs the scoreboard for the Tacoma Rainiers, and the Dolphin is it's a running joke here because it really doesn't belong in a baseball game being played.
No, it doesn't.
Strike 3 called on Carson Johnson. He goes down looking, 2 away.
Here comes number 17, Jensen Palau, up to the plate. 2 men on. Here's his opportunity.
Jensen had a 2-run double in his last at bat.
Look at him. He's choking up on that bat. He knows he's got to get a hit.
It's a big moment for Jensen. His team down by 4 runs. He could bring in 2 with a base hit here.
Raptors need a line drive right here.
Kieran on second. Ben on third. This one's grounded slowly to the second baseman. He fields it cleanly and tosses over to first base to get Jensen for the 3rd out of the inning.
I got involved because I'm an individual with a disability, and I just have a strong passion to make people who have disabilities, their lives better. Our generation is the next generation that will be in leadership, and it's important to have youth voice and involvement in the community. If there's a problem, don't complain, actually be a part of the solution and put your efforts into solving the problem rather than complaining about the problem. The more people who are a part of the solution, each of those people will have great ideas to share. Get involved with a board, committee, or commission, because if you have passion, you can pretty much do anything.
10-6 here at Cheney Stadium in the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U championship game. Big Blue Rams 10, the Raptors 6. Got a good game here.
Connor Meade on the mound again for the Raptors.
And the lefty steps up to the plate. This is Hayden Forrester. This is his 4th at bat. Hayden flew out to left field in his last at bat. 1-0 pitch on the way. He's fouled back. Hayden Forrester's favorite food is steak. That's my man right there.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good ribeye, porterhouse. Least favorite food is mushrooms. Can't agree with you there, Hayden. I love mushrooms, especially sauteed mushrooms.
Oh, I get some good chanterelle mushrooms with some Walla Walla sweet onions, a little red pepper.
That's good eating.
You know, red bell pepper, outstanding.
You're missing out, Hayden.
But you know what? When I was Hayden's age, I didn't like him either.
Well, you know, you probably found out how they were grown, and that was just kind of a turnoff.
Yeah, here we go. Hunting season will come up, and little rain, and those chanterelle mushrooms start popping up everywhere in the woods.
3-1 the count on Hayden. Strike called. 3-2. Hayden Forrester. Great defensive glove. He's great at digging out those bad throws at first base. This one's popped up. It might get out of play.
It's got to play.
Yeah.
But oh,
just missed it.
Just missed it.
Just into the camera, well down the third base side.
He was looking at that rail. I don't blame him. I'd have probably missed that one too. Made a good attempt though. The sun and the shadows. That's a tough ball to get.
3-2 the count. Connor Meade still on the mound, the righty for the Raptors. He's going up against the leadoff hitter for Big Blue Rams, Hayden Forrester. That pitch is down in the dirt. Ball 4 down to first base goes Hayden with the free pass.
Well, I think the coach for the Big Blue is going to stay aggressive.
Brings up Talon Kaiser. Talon Kaiser who hit .403 in the regular season. Now Hayden has a stolen base tonight. He's been caught stealing. This one's going to pop up and drop into left field just over the shortstop and just in front of the left fielder for another base for a base hit.
Well, it was a straight steal, hit and run.
So down to second goes Hayden. Talon's on first base. And now here comes number 13, Cam Beck. Big Blue Rams trying to get something going here in the top of the 6th inning. They got themselves a 4-run lead, 10-6. And a team playing against a team like the Raptors, I'm sure you're not too comfortable with that lead. You probably want to get a couple more. There's another toss back to second, and it goes out to center field. To third base goes Hayden. Holding up at first base is Talon, and the Rams have runners at the corners.
Second baseman and Cam Connor weren't in sync that time. Yeah, they weren't communicating with one another.
Runner goes from first base, popped up to right field. It's going to be battling the sun, and I don't think the right fielder knows where it was as it drops in. He was just kind of jogging out there. And now heading to second base is Cam Beck, who got himself a single, and now he's into second base because the defense didn't seem to really know what to do with the ball, Tony. I'm a little confused there.
Well, they're confused by the sun. They're looking straight up at that sun, and the right fielder didn't even see the ball.
Hayden Forrester comes in to score. Talon heads to third base. Cam Beck is on second base after that single, and now Scotty Diener steps up to the plate, number 11. Still no outs. The Raptors, who at one point closed this game within 3, now find themselves down by 5 here in the top of the 6th inning. One and one. Scotty Diener heading into the 9th grade, starting high school. Favorite baseball team's the Texas Rangers, but he likes Kyle Seager as his favorite player.
It's a good choice. Don't care for the first one, but I like the second one.
Interesting. An interesting combo. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Here comes what appeared to be a changeup, and it's going to run inside and hit Scotty. A hit by a pitch, and now the bases are loaded for the Big Blue Rams. And if you're the coach for the Big Blue Rams, here he comes. You got to be thinking about either coming out and talking to the pitcher or making a change. Bases are loaded. Anthony Pizzo will be the hitter, number 3. Hit .347 during the regular season.
Bases loaded, no outs. Good hitter up at the plate. So
I don't think the coach is going to make a pitching change here. He's talking to the infield. Tony, what do you think he's telling them right here? The bases are loaded, no outs.
I think he's telling them that they just have to keep their composure. You know, if you have a chance at a double play, let's get a double play. Forget about the 1 run, but get 2.
Connor Mead remains on the mound for the Raptors. He'll face Anthony Pizzo. Anthony 1 for 3 tonight with a single, 2 strikeouts. That ball's ripped to left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Now another runner rounding third base. That's Cam Beck. He will score, and it's a 2-run single for Anthony Pizzo. Well, Anthony had struck out twice. Came up to this in this at bat and said, "I'm not doing that again. In fact, I'm going to get myself a couple runs here."
He hit a beautiful line drive to left field, and everything to be proud of with that good swing.
That ball's grounded foul.
Well, what I like to see here is the Big Blue didn't panic when the Raptors came back and got 6 runs in that inning. Since then, they've calmed down. They're swinging the bats.
Runners go. Kind of a delayed steal. Throw down to third base is going to get by the third baseman, and that's going to bring in a run. Scotty Diener will come in to score. Another run across the plate for the Big Blue Rams, and now they're kind of starting to run away with this ball game, Tony.
They are, 13-6, and I think they're taking the air right out of the Raptors.
4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Mike Garrett up to the plate. Their Big Blue's second baseman.
Mike Garrett, he gets plunked in the back, and another hit batter. That's the second hit batter of the inning. The third. Second hit batter of the inning. Runners at second and first inning. Runners at second and first base. Seen quite a few hit batters in this game. Both teams guilty. So that'll bring up Shea McGee. He'll get his second at bat of the game. Shea came in a couple innings ago. Big opportunity for Shea here. He's got runners on second and first.
Okay, let's see what Mr. McGee can do.
Mike Garrett at first, Anthony Piesel at second. On deck, Gabe Keeler. 14-6 your score. Foul ball off the foot of Shea. 0-2 the count. We're talking earlier about S2 and the conversion and whatnot. And it takes about 24 hours to convert this field. 24 hours to bring in the sod over the infield to take out that pitcher's mound and replace it with that big circle of grass that they put in there.
Yeah, they. What's nice when they do that conversion, if they got a few games in a row where there's no baseball,
they can kind of cut it up into chunks.
Yeah, and
they do that.
It's a huge ordeal when they have to convert it, and it takes a lot of teamwork and leadership with the grounds crew. But boy, I'll tell you, they do a fantastic job.
Well, Shane McGee strikes out for the first out of the inning. Relief for the Raptors as they pick up their first down, and now Gabe Keeler steps up to the plate. Number 27. This ball is going to deflect off of the glove of the catcher. It's number 24. And Spitzer, who's now catching. Swing and miss.
They took a big cut at that ball. It was a little high.
So on that pass ball, runners advanced 90 feet. Plate umpire Dan Roberts. Good eye there. Right field gate by the grass berm is open. Safety first for Dan Roberts. That's
there we go.
Points there for Dan. Trying to keep these players safe. One ball. And I believe 2 strikes on Gabe. Next pitch. Ooh. He thought about it.
That was that semi-ephus pitch right there.
That pitch didn't break, but I tell you what, you saw Gabe Keeler kind of move his hands forward as if he wanted it. The next pitch is in there for a strike. And that'll make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. So I was off a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabe's happy. He only had 1 on him. Runners on second and third, 1 away. The pitch to Gabe, swing and a miss on that change. Got Gabe way out ahead, so back-to-back strikeouts. And we're going to have a sub here as Samir is going to step out of the game.
16 for Samir is going out of the game, and 16 is coming in.
Number 16 for the Rams. Here's Derek Zigan. Getting some time here at Cheney Stadium. Takes a strike.
If the young man wants to really bunt, he's got to turn.
It's been 4 years. Coming into this season, it had been 4 years since Derek had played baseball.
So I said most of these kids on this Big Blue team are football players.
0-2 the count on Derek. The 0-2 is a little inside. Coach had nothing but good things to say about Derek. Great attitude, respectful to the coaches and players, always gives it his all.
Yes.
Derek's a good kid. Stands in there with a 1-2 count, and the pitch is up high on Derek.
22.
14 years old. Favorite baseball team, the Seattle Mariners. Loves Robinson Cano. His favorite movie is The Avengers. He takes ball 3 up high, worked himself into a 3-2 count. Favorite food is Mexican. I tell you what, these kids can. They've got my heart. Steak, Mexican, all my favorites.
Well, I know this. I look forward to my 2-week trip to Mexico every year, and I eat lots of Mexican.
2 weeks. That's a good solid vacation. Down the Baja.
Now we go to Mazatlan.
Ball 4.
There he goes. Bases loaded.
Derek Ziggin takes a walk and is down on first base. It's got to feel good to walk in your first plate appearance at a professional ballpark. And the bases are loaded for the Rams. Here's Hayden Forrester. This is a big bat for the Rams. The leadoff hitter, first pitch, takes it for a strike. On 1, up and away. 2 outs. The Raptors trying to get this third out without giving up any more damage. They've given up 4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch is outside.
Hayden batted .438 during the season, so he's got a good stick.
We started this game at 5 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock now. I believe they have a no new inning after 2-hour limit. This one's going to bloop into left field for a base hit. It's going to score, possibly 2. The first runner comes across the plate, Anthony.
There goes
and then right
2.
behind him is Mike Garrett. So 2 runners score on Hayden Christensen's 2-run single into left field. Derek goes down to second base.
Yeah, the Raptors will get up to the plate one more time.
There's Talon Kaiser. It's fouled away. So for Hayden, I believe that's his 3rd RBI of the night. Productive night for Hayden. Walk away happy with a night like that at Cheney Stadium.
Well, especially against the team that you lost 4 times to during the season. So they should be proud of themselves.
Talon Kaiser, the hitter, hit a healthy .403. This one's popped up. This might be the break the Raptors need. It's off of the glove of the catcher. It's a fair ball because the catcher caught it in fair territory. The throw down to first base to get Talon is in time, and that'll be out number 3. 6 runs across the plate here in the top of the 6th inning for the Big Blue Rams. Your score heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, the Big Blue Rams 16, the Raptors 6. We'll be back.
Tacoma voters said yes to invest in city streets and passed 2 propositions for increased funding for street repair and improvements. Residents can stay informed by visiting TacomaStreetsInitiative.org for a layout of this funding and to see where projects are happening around the city. Projects are starting now. Keep an eye out for these signs posted at improvement sites. Over the next decade, these dedicated funds will be key to repairing and maintaining city streets in a significant way. See this funding in action at TacomaStreetsInitiative.org.
Well, back here at beautiful Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington. It's the Metro Parks Tacoma 14U Championship Baseball game. Being brought to you by TV Tacoma Sports Special. Glad to be with you for yet another year of championship baseball. As we are in the bottom of the 6th inning, your score, the Big Blue Rams 16, the Raptors 6. The Raptors running out of time.
Jack Warfield.
Yes. Jack leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning, hoping to get something started for the Raptors. Jack 0 for 2, his 3rd plate appearance. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jack. The 1-1 pitch.
Jack batted .219 during the season. He's due to get a base shot right here.
Down the third base side, he went the other way with it. Fielded very cleanly by the third baseman. Pulls the first baseman off the bag.
That's a tough play for the first baseman because he's looking right into the sun. Kept his eye, did a good job out there.
So 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Catcher Josiah Smith, the hitter. 16-6. Last year it was the Tugs Premier that took the championship.
Last year when the Tugs Premier was winning the championship, I was in Italy. Actually, I got to tell you, I even though we were over in Europe, I did miss doing the game because I enjoy being part of the game and the kids and seeing how they achieved throughout the year. And
it's a big day for the city too. Just the fact
really
that we get to bring these kids in and treat them like this.
It is. Metro Parks has done an outstanding job in partnering with the Rainiers and TV Tacoma, so these kids have this wonderful opportunity. I know this for a fact. These kids later on in life, they'll be talking to their children and their grandchildren about the time they played ball in Cheney Stadium.
Time is called on the field. That's going to do it for number 8, Talon Kaiser.
Thanks to Tacoma Power rebates, LED prices are getting even closer to the cost of your old bulbs, so the savings become very clear and very bright. Visit mytpu.org/rebates. We've got a rebate for that.
1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Josiah Smith is over on first base. He walked. And now Matthew Wood trying to keep things going for the Raptors here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That pitch not even close to the strike zone as Matthew pretty much dances out of the way of that ball. Runner advances down to second base on the wild pitch.
Well, the pitcher's goal right now should be get the ball over the plate, get some ground balls, throw them out.
Hayden Forster, the pitcher. This one's chopped. What a great short hop field by the shortstop, and the throw to first base.
Oh my gosh.
Bounces out of the first baseman's glove. A fantastic play by the shortstop.
Yeah,
that's number 3, Anthony Pizzo, who was catching, but now he's playing shortstop, and just a fantastic short hop. He played that pretty much textbook on those short hops. You got to catch it right as that ball.
Oh, he's out.
Hits the ground, and now we have a pickoff move at first base, and Matt Wood is picked off at first base for the 2nd out of the inning.
He did a great job. He had a good move.
2 outs. Josiah Smith holds up at second base, and I believe we're going to have yet another pitching change. And this kind of gives me the impression that maybe this will be the last inning, because the coach for the Rams doing a good job of getting more players in, getting them that experience, letting them throw off the big mound. This is number 3 that's going to take over for the Rams. That's Anthony Pizzo, who was playing shortstop. Now he's moving to the pitcher's mound.
Tacoma voters said yes to invest in city streets and passed 2 propositions for increased funding for street repair and improvements. Residents can stay informed by visiting TacomaStreetsInitiative.org for a layout of this funding and to see where projects are happening around the city. Projects are starting now. Keep an eye out for these signs posted at improvement sites. Over the next decade, these dedicated funds will be key to repairing and maintaining city streets in a significant way. See this funding in action at TacomaStreetsInitiative.org.
Yeah, the coach the other day told me he was definitely going to get everybody into the game, give everyone the opportunity to play.
Nathan Schaus will be the hitter. (16-6) your score. The Raptors have had the big blue Rams' number all season long. Beat them 13-7 on the 30th of April, 8-3 on May 2nd, 12-2. They 10-runned them on May 14th, and then they walked off the big blue Rams on May 21st. And now The Rams lead 16-6 in the championship game. We have a block call on Anthony Peasel.
He didn't come set before he went home.
So Josiah advances to third. Nathan Schaus has a 1-0 count. That ball's going to bounce in front of home plate, get past the catcher. Sliding into home plate is Matthew or Josiah Smith. And he is thrown out, and celebrating on the first base side is the Big Blue Rams as they have just defeated the Raptors. A final score of 16-6, Tony.
Yeah, you know, to beat a team 3 times in a row is tough. 4 times was phenomenal. 5 times is it's got to be impossible. So let's hear it for the Big Blue Rams. They came out and played their hearts out. And let's hear it for the Raptors as well. They had one heck of a season. They're all champions in my book.
Yeah, the Big Blue Rams, they are crowned the champions of the Metro Parks 14U League. But like you said, Tony, both these teams got to experience a big league ball game. They played at Cheney Stadium, something that maybe a lot of them might not ever have another opportunity to do.
I never had the opportunity to do that when I was younger. And we had some very good teams, but okay.
Well, the Big Blue Rams, they came in, they pitched, they stole, they played defense, and they hit. They did everything they needed to do to beat the Raptors, and they do. They beat them by a final score of 16-6. That's going to do it for us. This is Randy McNair and Tony Anderson. Once again, your final score in the Metro Parks 14U championship game. Big Blue Rams 16, the Raptors 6. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.